We will discuss market capitalization, and David Schwartz will provide some support. Here's a brief preview of his thoughts. It's more about market capitalization, but in actuality, it's not quite like a higher market valuation is typically correlated with price. And more liquidity is typically associated with a larger market cap. In reality, it's more akin to the liquidity availability that dictates how simple it is to use an asset for payments in the absence of closed loops. Naturally, we'll watch the entire 4-minute video shortly. Whoa! This delves deeply. How much do they know? Additionally, we'll discuss what would if we were to gain 0.5% of $1.4 quadrillion, what would the value of XRP look like, and why that amount would be used. That's because, do you recall Graham Rodford? The CEO of AR is stating this because, as you may know, there are tens of trillions that we may be able to perceive, and considering that 1.4 quadrillion is even still, this represents a very small portion of the enormous market. Between 30 and 50 trillion XRP is traded on the arts, and in 2 years, that number will rise to 50 trillion. Spiral he believes that Twitter will rebroadcast the session by 2025. Why is he so optimistic? See what types of discussions occurred during meetings held behind closed doors. Right now, this is our check. Working together with IBM and Madako, Ripple is the owner of Madako. Ripple paid $250 million for Madako. In December, IBM declared that they would be collaborating with MAO. December 5, 2023, IBM has collaborated with Madako to guarantee that OSO satisfies customer needs. Madako is a Tier 1 bank, an IBM business partner, and a provider of digital asset custody. Here are some monumental partnerships. You are who you are is carried out both directly and indirectly. And there are repercussions. Many individuals will miss out on this chance, and in a moment, we'll go into more detail and reveal that Ripple is now prepared to expand into the United States. XRP will be the center and the basis. Liquid and the reasons it's so crucial, but you already know this post's most significant aspect. Oliver Sovia, Senior Director and Head of Product Marketing Payments at Ripple, made that. The prior resume is striking. Trillion-dollar businesses, Coinbase is poised to become one. Google is a multi-billion-dollar business. A lot of people will be unaware that Ripple is the next big thing, just as Amazon is the next Google. However, it will be much bigger than Google, Facebook, and Amazon, and a lot of people will be in for a major awakening. Facebook is a trillion-dollar corporation, and now he's working with Ripple. So pay attention to what he says. Here we were. Remember when I mentioned before that there is a lot of adventure happening behind the scenes that you won't hear about? Here's where the mic drops. 90% of our businesses are located outside of the U.S. After the last 3 years, Ripple payments have been relatively quiet in the U.S. Now, however, we are prepared to announce new product updates using our money transmitter licenses, which cover the majority of U.S. states. Wow, this was 2 days ago. So, get ready, because in 2024, there will be a lot of big moves in the crypto sector. Ripple is bullish, as is the industry as a whole, especially with the Bitcoin ETFs being available. These individuals are folk, there's no turning back now. Now that the big money has entered and is gradually making its way in, let's talk about depth and liquidity and why. It's crucial, but keep this in mind. If you believe that depth and liquidity are important, watch Daniel Eden's clip initially. Regarding the quantity of various currencies and the level of liquidity required for those transactions. There just isn't enough liquidity there, and when I say liquidity, I mean that there isn't enough to make it operate, so it becomes less and less efficient. I'm referring to the market's depth. Implies that if I wanted to send you 100 Swiss francs right now, I could find 100 Swiss francs for 10 euros. There could not be enough liquidity if I'm sending 100 million pounds, yet, if I'm sending pounds, maybe I'll find a counterparty. For me to transfer $100 million daily between Swiss francs and pounds, but if we concentrate all of our liquidity into a single currency type, there might be more liquidity. When all that liquidity is extracted, more effective pricing schemes may be developed. Breakdown of depth and liquidity and what distinguishes XRP as having depth and fluidity. Let's start by discussing regulation. Ripple has strict regulations. It might therefore offer a level playing field for the transfer of these real-world assets between all jurisdictions, depth, and liquidity. The definition of liquidity is the ease with which an asset can be bought or sold in a market without materially affecting its price. When you take into account the daily FX markets, which bring in about $7.5 trillion per day, you will see that a sizable portion of the fees go toward the spreads between these FX transactions, which is where a sizable portion of the fees go toward eating up market depth, which is crucial. For this reason, guys, the market cap is meaningless. The market's capacity to support comparatively large market orders without adversely affecting the asset depth price is frequently displayed in an order book with multiple buy and sell orders at various values. Let's imagine a corporation wants to perform an A1 billion transaction and XRP is $1. A market with a deep order book contains a large volume of buy and sell orders at different price levels, indicating a healthy market where participants can complete large transactions with low slippage. We're going to run, then, into a liquidity crisis due to two factors. 1, there isn't enough XRP in circulation, and 2, it isn't feasible to do so there. Simply put, it would increase the cost incredibly quick, and pay attention to what David Schwartz says before I continue. CTO Ripple. What others are saying about why XRP can't be dirt cheap. To clarify, I'm referring to this particular quote, which is a little annoying to me because numerous people have repeated it while omitting important details. Therefore, let me be crystal clear about what I meant to imply in the quote I mentioned. Let's imagine I want to buy something from you, and the worth of that object is equal to XRP. The cost of XRP does not immediately affect the cost of a payment. Equals $1 million, the same as the quantity of XRP. Whether or not I pay you in XRP will depend on the price of XRP. The amount of XRP I have to give you will depend on its pricing, but that shouldn't affect how much it costs to make the payment, right? I'll offer you less XRP if its price is very high, but it will cost me more to obtain them if its price is low. It will take a lot of XRP to make payments to you, but I spent less for each one, so there is no such thing as cheap XRP, making payments either expensive or cheap. That's the point at which I was attempting to ensure that XRP's price did not dictate how much payments cost, but what does occur is, generally speaking, the greater an asset's market capitalization, the less important the unit price is, but the market capitalization does affect the asset's payment functionality. For instance, let's take the scenario where I wanted to use Bitcoin to purchase a $1 million mansion. When Bitcoin was just worth about $100, you could not possibly make a $1 million payment with Bitcoin, because there wasn't enough liquidity in the market. For example, if I had wanted to purchase Bitcoin for $1 million, I would have driven up the price. Then after that, when I give you the Bitcoin worth $1 million, assume that you purchase your home before leaving. You would have to raise the price to sell those down, resulting in a loss on the purchase. And I would lose money on the sale, which would make the payment terrible for both of us. However, these days, I can purchase $1 million worth of Bitcoin without the market changing, and you can sell $1 million worth of Bitcoin without the market shifting. As a result, the higher the market cap, the less important the price